Hi everyone, it's Giselle with a message for today, and I wanted to answer a question that I often receive from clients when I'm doing their private readings. But also, I've seen this question pop up in some of my older videos, particularly the meditation video where I help to facilitate contact between you and your person. And the question that people tend to ask is, does my person feel the pain or the discomfort or the anguish or the longing, all these feelings that you're feeling whilst in separation, do they feel it too? And based off of my experiences through my own circumstances and the readings I've done for other people, I'll say yes, they do. And the reason for that is because energetically you are connected, so you're picking up on each other's as well as your own feelings, which is why it's often amplified. But also, each person seems to be going through it or experiencing it differently than the other. And some people get very confused by that. They cannot understand why these feelings are being expressed so differently. And it's often very confusing for the person who's seemingly more affected, although I do believe you are both affected, but it sort of shows itself differently. And when I do these readings, I can definitely sense energetically that the other person is also in a high level of discomfort, missing you, and yeah, also in pain. And we have to try and get ourselves out of this mindset of they have to feel the exact way I feel, they have to process things the exact way I do, because what this journey is a huge learning opportunity, spiritual growth opportunity for both parties. And just as everyone has different learning styles, we cannot expect the other person to process things exactly the way that we do and in our time. That's why you get different grades for different subjects in school and you don't always match up. Everyone else has different strengths to you, and it shows. Certain subjects you'll get A for, and other subjects you might get a C or a D even. It all depends on your strengths, on your talents. I know it's not exactly the same with processing pain and missing the other person, things like that, but I'm trying to explain how not everyone has the same way of processing. And because you are the same but opposite, if that makes sense, you will be processing things differently from your person, and it's not fair to expect them to process things exactly the way that you think it should be and in your time, because we all learn at different paces. I know with me, I was far better at learning and picking up languages than I was at maths. And I would often find that I'd need extra help with maths, whereas languages, I would just pick it up and I'll be great. So, same thing with your person. They may pick up one thing very easily and understand it very quickly, but something else may not. And not all our spiritual lessons are obvious. What you may deem a priority may not be quite so at the forefront of your person's journey. And we just have to respect that. But what I would like to say and share with you to help you and encourage you if you are struggling with this is I've had first-hand experience that they do feel these things. I've shared this story a few times on my channel, but because I've been here for a long time, you may not have caught this story when I did tell you. So just briefly summarize. When me and my person were going to separate for the first time, I already had a feeling, a very strong feeling, that something was going to happen, and it felt really, something was off. So this instance also showed me that my person was my twin flame, because I'd never experienced such a high level of telepathy and connection with anyone living. I had it with people who'd passed on, because that was my original gift. I was a medium. When I was born, I could easily pick up on people who had passed. So the only other instances that I could kind of liken to this was when my grandmother had passed and had let me know that. And, you know, when I was very little, I would just automatically pick up on people who'd passed away, seeing them walking around like they were just regular people. A bit like the Sixth Sense, I suppose. Anyway, it's a bit of a joke. I remember when I was about to have this talk with my beloved, I had a great day, so I was feeling good within myself. I had just had a great workout at the gym. I'd just come home to make some food for myself, and sorry, I can't talk. As I was preparing the food, I then suddenly felt very anxious, very out of the blue, you know. My heart started racing. I started sweating. I started feeling terrified, like something had happened. I couldn't place what, because it wasn't obviously my energy. And I felt so sick. I just wanted to be sick. And it was an awful feeling, really, really bad, to the point where I had to have a lie down. And less than an hour later, my person contacted me and said, "I'm so sorry, we can't continue on." He was very discouraged because he was living very far away, and he just felt overwhelmed with the feelings of this connection and had to disconnect. And I told him this years later. Actually our last conversation, I told him all about this. I said, "Do you remember that time that you disconnected me for the first time? I felt your anxiety. I felt really, really ill with fear." And he acknowledged that. In very few words, he said sorry for the anxiety. He didn't argue against it. He didn't try to change or make things sound different or say, "Oh, that didn't happen." He acknowledged and just calmly said, "Yeah, I'm sorry for the anxiety." So I know through that experience that they do feel these things, and that this journey hasn't been easy for them either, but they have to process things in their own time, at their own pace, in the way that's best for them to really digest and go through things, you know, the way that they need to. And just because it's easier for us, potentially, is what I'm hearing a lot, you know, it's easy for us to express and feel our way emotionally through this journey. We can't expect that to be the same for them. And if it's not, we have to respect them enough to process this in their own time. But also respect ourselves enough that if we feel we need to disconnect for our own peace of mind and our own sanity and our own health, mental health and physical well-being, and because it can take a huge toll on you, then that's fine too. Then we can disconnect, because if that's what we need, we have to honor that for ourselves. So it's very challenging to find how people express things and need to go through things in their own way, but we cannot dictate for the other person, you have to do it a certain way just because that's how it worked for me. It's not fair for us to do that. And also, these are not our lessons to learn. All their lessons are for them, and we have to keep it that way and trust in the divine, in the universe, that things will happen as they should, and we shouldn't try to get involved or try to control everything. So I hope this has helped you. If you would like to connect with me, all my details are in the description. I'm also still doing special packages for the month of June, and you can find that on my community page. For any reason you have trouble accessing my community page, just text me if you have my number, or email me if you don't, and I'll be happy to send you the information if you wish to do a multi-booking to save you some money. So thank you all very much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.